The only thing constant in this world is change.
We, as a university, seek ways to ameliorate the conditions before us today.
And we continue to adapt to the challenges of this changing world.
A leading Christian institution committed to total human development for the well-being of society and environment. And our education is to be used as a tool for the well-being of society and the only place, the earth, we all live in.
Come to think of it, whole person education was with us ever since we began. It starts with values, Christian values, a seed which is planted in every Suleimanian. Our commitment is on fire. Faith, instruction, research, extension.
Whole person education in the university's teaching and non-teaching programs and services. Education for total human development should be sustained as an educational framework.
In Silliman, we strive to offer quality education. And part of the quality education in Silliman is to offer our students a variety of venues for learning. These are what we call the 5 C's of Silliman education. The first C, of course, is the classroom, where students learn and engage professors and faculty who are among the best in the country.
Whole person education as one that promotes multidisciplinarity, inclusiveness, self-direction, and social responsibility.
Responsive to the needs of today.
With liberal arts education, we as an institution provide an atmosphere of inclusion more than exclusion. People of all creeds, people coming from different countries, personal and political orientations, people with different work backgrounds and socio-economic levels can all be a part of a community of learning. The multiple sources of learning here at Silliman that we identify to be the classroom, our athletic grounds, our church, our cultural center, the community in general. All these allow for various perspectives and learning applications that help realize the educational aspirations of all who enter the gates of Silliman.
Sports is integral to Silliman.
The second C would be the courts, the athletic fields, where students and faculty and staff come together regularly in order to celebrate the value of the body in relation to the mind.
Where is multidisciplinarity in whole person education? Subscribing to the concept that education is life necessarily entails that our teaching and learning must go beyond the narrow confines of our individual disciplines. The more collaboration we have with other fields or disciplines, the better we are at approximating the truths we are searching. promoting multidisciplinarity, linkages, and networks among faculty, staff, and students, as well as interactions between and among academic units and divisions, does not only build skills, but also establish fellowship, harmony among one another.
The third venue for Silliman education would be the cultural centers. Many times in the year, the students are given a dose of cultural activities that will allow them to delve into the sensitivities of the human nature.
As to whole person education and self-direction with social responsibility, excellence in programs and services provided to students is not an end of itself. It is hoped that the education attained becomes an instrument for a higher purpose, like doing service to others.
Sillimanians throughout the years have always had the opportunity to learn directly from local communities around Negros Oriental and even throughout the country.
We have community service, structured health teachings. Not only does it improve our skills, we're also given the chance to give back to the community, serve them, and try to empower them in order to build a better community.
Another major feature of Silliman education is this education of the soul and of the spirit through the church. This is where our students learn of the value of nurturing their spiritual life.
What we have right now is on the pre-computer education for the senior citizen, and it is a 3-year commitment of Silliman and to the community.
Whole person education is not just our commitment, it is our way of life. It is who we are, Silliman University.
Before the webinar begins, rename your Zoom name to your complete name and department and/or affiliation so that we can easily identify you. Kindly mute your microphone when not in use. Next, switch on your video if your connectivity allows you. If you have questions with regards to the presentation, there will be an open forum right after. Please type it in the chat box or use the raise hand reaction button in Zoom and unmute yourself. The session is video recorded. Recordings will be made available at the Silliman Online University Learning website.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. Greetings to everyone who has joined us today. With the number of people who has joined us or are here today, it is a testament of our interest on our topic today. And of course, this is our launching for our Soul's open educational resources platform. So um, this afternoon, to give us to welcome everyone, let us call on Dr. Dave E. Marshall, our project leader. Sir Dave?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Alfie, and daghang salamat for joining us. We thank our area coordinators, our project members, and all those who are with us this afternoon coming from the different institutions in the country. Good afternoon. Just a backgrounder, last year in July, Silliman University awarded a project by the Commission on Higher Education, a research entitled Portable Learning Management System. It is basically a platform for technology-oriented flexible learning in schools with challenging internet connectivity. The main goal of the project is to assist higher education institutions in implementing portable learning management as an alternative modality of flexible learning, especially in HEIs that are challenged with internet connectivity. The idea was responsive to the pandemic time where flexible learning was mandated and the use of a learning management system that will run without internet connectivity is the most practical and appropriate solution. The project specifically aimed to establish a Center for Technology-Enhanced Flexible Learning at Silliman that will have three main functions. One is a training and technical support. That is why last year we offered a free open online course on technology enhanced flexible learning. Second function, technology development and process support. We offered a an intensive 6 day training with an almost 6 months technical support on the use of flexible or the portable learning management system. And third function of or specific objective the project is to develop a knowledge repository for open educational resources of flexible learning. Today, we will be launching one of the deliverables of our project, the Open Educational Resources. It is a platform that is free, open, and accessible to all for contribution, reusing, remixing, and sharing. Later on, Dr. Mayra Villanueva, the team leader of the component on OER, will be explaining to us what is an open educational resource. Immediately after with Dr. Mayra's discussion on the concept and benefits of OER, I am very proud to present also the thesis, the partial report of our student from the Bachelor in Library and Information Science on knowledge, attitude, and practices of OER in the country. Assistant Professor Alfie Arcelo will be giving us a snapshot and a hands-on exercises on how to use and reuse content uploaded in the open educational resources that we will be launching later on. Towards the end, our librarian, our digital librarians, Sarah Angela Ragay, will be presenting to us the software, the online or the portal of the OER on how to contribute content and resources to the platform that we develop. Friends, we are happy that you are here together as we enjoy and as we move forward to a journey of sharing, open accessibility, and contribution among the academics, not just in higher education institutions, but in the basic education. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Sir Dave. So, Sir Dave has already given us an idea of what we are here for this afternoon. So, without further ado, because we have lots of questions on what is OER and what can we benefit from using OER, let's all welcome Dr. Myra E. Villanueva, our OER team leader, to give us an idea of how it should work. Ma'am Myra?
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my screen first. Okay, so affordability is often the main driver of the use of OER. So, but it's not the only reason. Using OER gives faculty the ability to customize their learning materials for or to support their curriculum and the learning outcomes for their course. The course materials can be dynamic with a wide selection of at OER is available to create engagement, improvement, improve understanding, and break down barriers of accessibility. This afternoon, I am tasked to discuss with you a topic on understanding open educational resources or OER. So this afternoon, I will be discussing the nature and characteristics of OER, benefits of OER to teachers and students, the 5 R's of OER, and the Creative Commons licenses. According to the definition by Butcher et al. 2011, open educational resources are educational resources used by educators and learners without accompanying need to pay royalties or license fees. Another definition by Creative Commons organization, open educational resources are teaching, learning, and research materials in any medium that reside in public domain or have been released under an open license that permits their free use and repurposing by others. So educational resources or open educational resources are free. We don't need to pay just to get a quality educational resources that we can use to improve it or to improve our discussion, to improve or use it in our teaching learning process. So what are the characteristics or general characteristics of OER? So they are often or true not exclusively offered in a digital format. So usually OER is really in a digital format, but for some, they wanted a hard copy or analog version of a model, so they print it. Okay, so you can have the print copy and that is taken or used through or downloaded through an OER repository. Next, they can be any type of learning resource used in an educational setting. Open educational resources includes full courses, course materials, modules, textbooks, streaming videos, tests, software, rubrics, and any other tools, materials, or techniques used to support teaching and learning. Next characteristic is that the digital format allows the reuse, sharing, adaptation, and repurposing of the resource for the different educational setting that than the original one. So teacher may reuse, share, modify, or redesign, combine, or create a new product or teaching materials as needed in their own classroom. Or teachers can contextualize the content or the format of the materials depending on how she or he is going to use them in class. So what is the difference between OER and open access? There is a thin line between open educational resources and open access resources that is available online. So open educational resources are free, same with open access. But the open educational resources there is this characteristics that you can reuse, you can redesign, and you can retain the materials that you had downloading. And it is used for educational purposes. While open access usually use more on research, there are times that open access resources can be used also in the classroom, especially if we are teaching research or we are integrating research in our class. Okay, so an OER also is an open access and OER usually in the digital environment and in analog. So open access resources our open educational resources is usually in a digital environment, okay, because of the characteristics that you can redesign or modify the materials, while the open access is usually or you can get that from you can use that for research, and you can have or you can download it also through your online access. And another difference between OER and open access is in terms of freedom. OER is for as what I've said, it is for you can retain or you can reuse or you can modify the materials and you can redesign it according to your needs in the classroom. While an open access is you can just download it, you can reuse or you can read it as it is. You cannot modify them. And there are also databases that is, when we say close or tool access, you have to pay for access of such material. So they are not considered as OER. So number one characteristic of OER is they are free educational resources. You don't need to pay just to access an OER. Okay, so what are the 5 R's of OER? So the 5 R's, the first R is reuse. Content can be reused in its unaltered form. It means you can download, then you can use a certain materials. For example, your rubric. If the description of the rubrics that is fitted to your needs in the classroom, then you can reuse them. Okay, so the use or to use the work verbatimly. So this is an essential issue, an easy access of existing materials. Next is we have retain. So users have the right to make, archive, or own copies of the content. So you can have or you can download that in your local computer or local repository, and you can use that in your classroom. Okay, so revised. Content can be adapted, adjusted, modified, or altered. So an OER or the content of an OER can be redesigned. So it is or adjusted according to your needs in the classroom. So for example, if you want or if you download a certain syllabus from an OER repository, then you can revise it. You can redesign it according to your needs, according to your needs in the classroom. Remix. So the remix is the original or revised content can be combined with other content to create something new. So for example, if you have your video, your original video, and you downloaded another video from an OER and you remix it to create another product for your classroom's use, then you can do that in the OER or Open Educational Resources. Then the redistribute. Copies of the content can be shared with others in its original, revised, or remixed form. So this launching is really for this hours of an OER. We encourage everyone to redistribute or to resubmit the content, the revised or their original educational product or materials. Okay, so what are the benefits of OER to the teachers and the students? So for teachers, number one, OERs are fully developed by others and do not require you to build your own lesson materials from scratch. Therefore, it saves time in building lessons, exams, and classwork. So an OER is, we really have that quality control when it comes to an OER. And we believe that our faculty or our teachers, students, and members of educational institution will really upload their best product. So imagine if you make an exam or a syllabus that is from scratch, it will need time to build for that. But if you just downloaded it and downloaded it from an OER repository and revise it, then it can save your time. Okay, so OERs are openly licensed to be modified, remixed, and reused in your classroom without paying or requiring copyright permission. So if this is from an OER repository, even the author did not put a license or copyright testament or statement, then it is assumed because you uploaded that in an OER repository that another user can modify, remix, or reuse your product in the classroom. Sorry, to use in his or in her classroom. Okay, so my last topic or the yes is for Creative Commons licenses, which the contributor or the faculty can determine if this product or this materials she or he allows it for this modification, remixing, and reuse in the classroom. Next is OERs can be easily linked to added to your learning management system without requesting permission to duplicate them. So since the nature of OER products or materials is free and it is understood that it is for that you can or you share your product for other user to be used in their classroom, then as a teacher, we can download that and we can use that in our learning management system or in our virtual classroom. So how about the benefit of OER for students? Okay, so OERs do not have cost. Students do not have to buy or to pay prohibitive prices for textbooks. So for this, students can access quality educational materials by having or by accessing an OER repository. Anyone with an internet connection can access the materials without paywalls, so access for students off campus is less problematic. So highly or high quality resources for education are being produced and used in some educational institutions. Okay, so for some groups of learners and in some countries, and made it available online for free. So students, even they can access quality information or quality educational resources without paying and without having problem with username and password, as long as they wanted to access the materials. Next is students can preserve access to class materials after the course ends. No rented textbook to return or sell. So because this is, if you downloaded it and you can retain it with you in your local computer, then you can preserve whatever you have downloaded from an OER repository. Okay, so the last topic that I'll be discussing with you is the Creative Commons licenses. There are several systems of open licenses. Okay, so Creative Commons are legal tools give everyone from individual creators to a large companies a simple, standardized way to grant copyright permissions to their creative work. So they are designed to forge a balance inside the traditional all rights reserved setting that copyright law creates. Okay, so one system is the respective open licenses produced by Creative Commons. Okay, so the Creative Commons also offered zero rights retained license and the public domain licenses, which are also an OER licenses. So there are at least six Creative Commons licenses. So the first we have here, Attribution International. Okay, so it can be shared, copy, and redistribute the material in any medium or format. So you can adapt, transform, and build upon or redesign the material according to your needs. And you can even sell it, or you can have it commercially. So it really depends on the original author to assign this kind of Creative Commons license. Next is we have attribution share alike. Okay, so this means that the user can copy, redistribute the material in any medium or format. So when we say any medium, it can be text, video, audio, courseware, whatsoever that is uploaded in the OER repository. So you can remix, transform, and rebuild or redesign it according to your purpose, and you can sell or you can have it commercially. Okay, so next is attribution, no derivatives. So it means the user can share or can copy and redistribute the material in any medium or format. Even you can sell it. Depends really on the author. If she or he wants this kind of Creative Commons license that he will put or she will put in her materials. attribution non-commercial. Okay, so for this is actually in this kind of this is the kind of license that an OER really wanted us to put in our materials, in our educational materials that we produce, and we shared or we redistribute, or we resubmit it to any OER repository. So the user can share, can copy and redistribute the material in any medium. Okay, can remix, transform, and redesign it, but you cannot have money or you cannot sell those materials. Okay. Next is we have attribution non-commercial share alike. So, okay, so the user can copy and redistribute the materials. She or he can remix it, rebuild or redesign it, but she can redistribute, and he or she will attribute or cite the original author. Okay, but she or he cannot sell or make money out of that material. Okay. So attribution non-commercial, no derivatives. So the user can copy and redistribute the materials according this with but she or he cannot alter it. So this is usually the license that is being placed in our open access materials. So you can just copy and redistribute it in its original form, but you cannot sell it and you cannot modify it. Okay, so for our teachers, our students who wanted to share your educational products or educational materials, you can just access, and if you wanted really to choose the right Creative Commons license to be placed in your original product, then you can visit chooser-beta .creativecommons.org. Then you just answer these 7 questions. Then it will give you and it will automatically give you what's this the license that is proper for your materials. Okay. So for a summary, OER availability and use are fast growing. So especially abroad. If you notice, there are so many and big OER repositories that we can name. So as teachers and students realize the benefits of OER, which can improve their learning and help education become more accessible to all. By creating, using, sharing, and remixing OER, you can make resources more available and join a team of worldwide collaborators. We hope that this introductory talk on OER has whetted your appetite for the possibilities that OER can open up and provided you with the tools you need to start remixing and sharing your own produced OER. Be an OER creator and contributor. Okay, so these are my references. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Villanueva. So that is a lot of information, but I know everyone is quite excited to use OER now because we are actually protected by the common the common licenses for us to be able to reuse, retain, revise, remix, and even redistribute the contents from OER. So Dr. Myra actually ended with be a contributor. So we could actually be, and we be a creator. So that's actually also a highlight. We should be able to contribute in order for us to be able to use other materials as well. So thank you very much, Dr. Myra. At this point, to give us the OER climate, especially here in our country in terms of the use of OER, we have here two Bliss students from the College of Computer Studies who will present to us their thesis entitled Cap of OER in the Philippines. Let us all welcome Ms. Lizelle Mujilio and Angie Halandon.
Okay. Good afternoon to all participants, teachers, students, librarians, and faculties. We are blessed students conducting research on knowledge, attitudes, and practices towards open educational resources in higher education institutions in the Philippines. Development of affordable learning resources. This research is anchored on the Research Portable Learning Management System, a platform for technology-enhanced flexible learning in schools, internet connectivity, challenging internet connectivity. So introduction. So globally, distance education has become a global industry in today's world. In the Asian context, In the Asian context, OER have emerged as an alternative to pricey commercial textbooks, offering a more affordable learning. In the Philippines context, according to Marino, Guerrero et al., stated that the development of ICTs reflects on the technological progress in the educational field, and also promote innovative pedagogical actions and create new learning spaces. One of the pedagogical action is OER, which bears the attributes of the concept of openness such as reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. OER plays a great role in the changes of librarians' role in helping users. And since librarians' service is influenced by librarians' knowledge, attitudes, and practices, therefore this study is significant. Why CAP study? Because the CAP model is representative study of a specific population to collect information on what is known, believed, and done in relation to a particular topic. So statement of the problem. OER is already well known and widely used around the world. However, in the Philippines, lacks of information and implementation of OERs, although it is stated in the CMO 2020. When compared to other countries, some OERs is not as developed. As peer literature, open educational resources are essential to users in pursuing their education, especially now that the flexible learning is implemented. Hence, this investigation assesses librarians' knowledge, attitudes, and practices about OER, mainly when OER are exceptionally useful in this pandemic and where face-to-face learning is not permitted. So in this this is our research question. In this presentation, we will present only the primary goal of this study, is to present the CAP, and also to present the result of knowledge, attitudes, and practices of librarians about and towards to of OER, Open Educational Resources. The scope of the study is restricted to academic librarians serving in libraries partnered with higher education institutions in the Philippines. that offer Bachelor of Library Information Science degree program, and also limited to online survey distribution. So this framework is modified from the concept of 4 Rs by Helton, Riley, Stein, and Johnson. So here, OER has 4 elements. In terms of OER, openness, these are reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. The four elements, the four elements the 4 elements is the baseline to measure the level of knowledge, attitudes, and practices. So since the practices affected by the knowledge, attitude, therefore, this two line is connected with the practices, connects to practices. So the top result is the key to the development of the portable learning. In this presentation, we focus only the top result of the librarians. For the methods and results, it will be presented by Lizel Mohelio.
So good afternoon, everyone. I will be presenting the methods and the results of the study. So this study uses descriptive, correlative, and fully online survey method. And the correlation is used to measure the significant differences and relationship between variables. Our environment are the actual 57 HEIs in the Philippines, offering 4-year Bachelor of Library and Information Science program that participated our survey. We use a central tendency using mean and frequency for the CAP result and person correlation and Cronbach alpha for the validity and test rate reliability testing. And we tabulate it using Excel and free-SPSS software. So our respondents are the academic librarians holding the following, either one of the following position: university librarian, chief librarian, library coordinator, or BLIS coordinator. And it is limited, we limit only one representative in every HEI. And we connected them through online, by email, Facebook Messenger, and or phone calls. So the highest participants of 87.72% were female and the 12.28% were male. And for their highest educational attainment, the highest percentage is 64.91% were coming from a master's degree graduate. And the average years of service is 18.93%. This is the distribution of the higher education institutions according to the 3 islands of the Philippines. The highest percentage is from Luzon, 52.63%, and the lowest one is from Visayas, which is 21.5%, 21.05% rather. The status of school were the library affiliated with 40% or 70.18% were private college or private university. And this slides and the following slides represents the distribution of the respondents according to regions in Philippines. So our instruments were uses mixed survey form, which is checklist and rating skills with short answer. And it is actually a self-constructed survey questionnaires divided into 9 sections and based on the OER concept of openness suggested by Helton et al. And our instruments has gone through validity and reliability testing, and it suggests that the Cronbach alpha, and that for our values, it suggests that the instrument is good for measuring the cap of the librarians. So this is how we process our data collection. On November 1st, 2021, we applied clearance from the Suleiman University Research Ethics Committee, which was approved on January 19, 2022, followed by the validity and reliability testing for the instruments. And on February 21st to 27 is the first distribution of the online survey sent through the ICI's presidents through emails and also through the school emails. And then we follow up them with the until 6th follow-up actually. So for the results, in terms of the library resources, the average total number of print resources, which is in volumes, there is 81,620, and the average total number of non-print resources in terms of volumes is 41,980, and the average total databases subscribed is 23.39, and the last one is the average total open educational resources available in the library is 1,761.89. In terms of the results for the CAP, these slides and the following slides represents the following. And on the CAP on Rio's notion of OER, the overall mean is 5.75, which is described as this is something I rarely do at our school. And the highest mean is 5.84. In this Rio's notion of OER, there are two items. The adopting OER in our libraries fulfills the academic requirements of the students, and the integrating OER promotes innovative pedagogical models, which is described as this is something I really do at our school. For the revised notion of OER openness, the overall mean is this is something I really do at our school. And for the highest mean is 5.82 on the item of making OER more retrievable to the library users. This is also described as this is something I really do at our school. For the CAP on the remix notion of the OER, the overall mean is 5.33. This is something I really do at our school. And the highest mean of the items is 5.42. Still, this is something I really do at our school. For the last concept of the openness, the distribution notion of OER, the overall mean is 5.31, which is described as this is something I really do at our school. The highest mean for the items is 5.82. Still, this is described as something I really do at our school. On the items of delivering numerous types of information resources across different platforms. For the general aspects of the CAP, the overall mean is 5.27, which is describes as I know this and I am optimistic or positive about practicing and learning this in school. The highest mean is 5.89, is on the statement of advocacy, which is described as this is something I really do at our school. For the lowest mean of 4.81 describes as I know this and I am optimistic or positive about practicing and learning this in school, which belongs to the statement on funding. For the overall CAPs, the means of all means is 5.39, which is described as this is something I really do at our school. The on Rio's notion, the 5.75 means this is something I really do at our school. On revised, still this is something I really do at our school. And on remix, likewise, this is something I really do at our school. And on distribution, still this is something I really do at our school. But on the general aspects of 5.27 overall mean, it is describes as I know this and I am optimistic or positive about practicing and learning this in school. To summarize the CAP result, the knowledge, attitude, and practices in terms of OER openness, which interpreted as moderately practiced, which means that the respondents performed and integrated at school and are further demonstrated moderately their knowledge and attitude towards open educational resources. In terms of the reuse notion of OER based on the overall mean or the results of the CAP, it's interpreted as moderately practiced and which implies that items under reuse were performed and integrated at school and further signifies that the respondents demonstrated moderately their knowledge and attitudes towards OER. CAP, in terms of revise and redistribute notion of OER, still interpreted as moderately practiced based on the results of 5.31 of overall mean, and it signifies that respondents demonstrated moderately their knowledge and attitude. For the CAP, in terms of the remix notion of OER, it is still moderately practiced and signifies that those items under remix were performed and integrated at school and demonstrated moderately their knowledge and attitude towards OER. So, to summarize, in terms of knowledge, attitudes, and practices towards open educational resources, the overall mean suggests that librarians manifest moderately their awareness towards open educational resources. And this study affirms to Kalilong on her findings that academic librarians are moderately aware on OERs and that it suggests that lack of familiarity and exposure to OERs may lead to poor handling and storage, organization, and marketing of the resources, resulting to low appreciation from clients or in the library term patrons, as well as librarians' limited knowledge on OERs gives moderate quality of impression from clients. And likewise, the study confirms that the majority of the librarians here in the Philippines are still in the early stages of learning about OER. So that's all, and these are our references. And thank you for listening.
Okay, so thank you very much, ladies. Um, those were very useful information on OERs in our country when it comes to usage. So it should motivate us, academicians, students, and researchers to really make use of OER because it is still rarely used in our, as they have placed it, rarely used in our schools in the country. So thank you for that one. And at this juncture, to formally introduce us to our Soul's open educational platform, let us welcome back Dr. Dave E. Marshall.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Myra. Dr. Myra actually um, shared with us the basic understanding of OER, while our students, my advisees, shared with us in terms of the knowledge, attitude, and practices. Those basic understanding help our team to develop the open educational resources hosted by my office or at Siliman University. So as mentioned by Dr. Myra, it is free, open, you can contribute, you can remix, you can redistribute, you can alter the content, you can revise the content, but don't forget to share it again. So in the next few minutes, I will be introducing to you the overall description of what OER in the system, OER portal is, and Alfie, our moderator, will be going through to the specific function of the portal together with our librarian, digital librarian, Sarah Angela Ragay. Let me share with you our portal, which our web admin will type the link. My screen.
Yes, Doc.
Okay. So this is the portal. Please chat the link there. Jade Montemayor is our member of the team who are one of the developer. The link or the address of the portal is https://oursoul.fu.edu.ph. So this is the portal. Welcome to our Soul OER. Soul means Silliman Online University Learning. It is a portal for instruction, research, extension, and community service for everyone. Take note that for everyone. This portal offers three primary services: open online course, open educational resources, and educational platform. So what are open online courses? Open online courses, these are courses or learning management systems for MOOCs, certificate courses, review courses, and lifelong learning courses of Silliman University. So you can enroll here anytime. Like if you want to learn about a hybrid learning, you can enroll for free, get certificate at your own pacing, because all the or majority of the courses available online are asynchronous. That means you can learn it at your own time. Let me demonstrate to you. If you will click here, say for example, you wanted to learn about gamification, just go or click gamification here, and then you will see the courses available here. Okay, like flexible learning, instructional or online instructional designing, Bicronus delivery strategy, digital, and there are many other courses that you can follow or you can enroll. Let's try to explore more courses. So when you click that one, you will see something like this. All you have to do is to log in. And then you can create your account, and then you can enroll the courses. Okay, so something like this, browse, and then all courses are available here for free. So upskilling, online teaching there, and so on and so forth. You just browse according to your preference. Let me go back to the main or home. So here, let me proceed to the second, the educational platform. Educational platform, our office is also We also receive different grants to develop educational software or platform, and all the software that we develop are actually hosted in here. So educational platform is a repository of free and downloadable learning technologies for teachers developed or customized by Silliman University in partnership with several funding agencies. Among these tools include the portable learning management system. We also have the whole person education as of the moment. All you have to do is to just click download, and then you can download the portable learning management system. And if you like to try also our whole person education game, you can also download that. It's a mobile app, as of the moment applicable only for Android mobile phones. So that is educational platform. Let me go to the third. The third is the teaching learning resources. Teaching learning resources is a web-based system that provides open access to curated teaching and learning resources contributed by the community. Maybe some of you here were enrolled in our PAYAC activities and our CHED open online course. Remember, one of the, or during your performance task or your activities, you are required to submit a certain content, and then part of those agreement in joining the open online course is those activities that you submitted will be part of the accumulated and curated teaching and learning resources. That means all of those material that you submitted during the PAYAC training or upskilling online teaching and the open online course funded by the Commission Higher Education, all those content, we actually uploaded it. Of course, it always belongs to you. What we do here is just simply develop a platform so that there is a platform that can curate all of this content that we can share also to the other academicians, teachers, students, and librarians. So this is basically the portal. It is an in-progress development, and we will continue to improve this, but as of the moment, as of this time, as part of the deliverable of our project, we are launching this and ready for using, ready for uploading, ready for contribution, and much more, ready for downloading any content that you would like to do. If you like to enroll to the open online course, if you are teaching like educational technology in your school, and if you would like to reuse our material, feel free to download the materials that are available online. For the third, I would like to turn over the screen to Alpi Arcelo, who will be explaining to us the open resources, which is the third component of the open educational resources. Alpi?
Thank you, Sir Dave. So before I share to you the screen, or before I demonstrate on how to use, no, let me just give you an idea of the main uses of the OER, and that is actually to use through downloading of materials, and of course to reuse. So let me share my screen first. Okay. So again, I am tasked to introduce to you the use and reuse of the contents of ourSOUL's OER, and I will also demonstrate later. So in here, for ourSOUL's description, no, before we go into detail of the use and reuse options, let me highlight our description. So we are a web-based system that provides open access to curated teaching and learning resources contributed by the community. So that means everyone is actually welcome to contribute. All resources in this website can be reused, recycled, remixed, and shared. Actually, you could actually add the last R from what Dr. Myra had said, and it is open to everyone for use and contribution of materials and content in different file formats. Now, let us look into the uses of ourSOUL OER TLR. So we have here 8 uses. So our ourSOUL teaching learning resources is used to widen the access to learning materials such that first, it expands the access to learning, and students anywhere, not just limited to Silimanians, can access the OER at any time, and they can access the materials also repeatedly. Then for scalability, no, where contents are easy to distribute widely with little or no cost at all, as also mentioned by Dr. Myra earlier. And the third one is it is used to augment content used in class. Now, so what does this mean? Where OERs can supplement textbooks and lectures, where deficiencies in information could be evident, kulang siya, no? So also this means there is enhancement of regular course content, meaning, for example, multimedia material, such as videos can accompany text. There's also like the remix or the combination, then presenting information in multiple formats that is may help also students to more easily learn the material being taught. Then we can actually disseminate it quickly. There is quick circulation of resources. Information may be disseminated rapidly, no, especially when compared to information that's published in a journal or in textbooks or online books, which may take months or even years to become available for free. So in here, everything is for free, so there is quick dissemination of content. Okay. Other uses of ourSOUL's OER TLR is it doesn't just highlight creativity and innovation. It showcases actually also the talent are recognized, wherein there is a wide audience may learn of our teachers interests when it comes to research, no, and expertise. And then potential students as well as donors may be impressed, no, if they see the materials within our OER. And this also motivates student and faculty recruitment, especially if you are in the academe, because the 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 output or the ones that they could see in our OER would really recognize the efforts that they are being enhanced, the contents are being enhanced. Then it actually this is that it then it is used to innovate, no, teaching learning content and activities, especially for the teachers, no, where you have to remember that adopting or even creating our own content give us the teachers the opportunity to uh, tailor or customize our course content in new and updated ways. Then we also have another use, which is to continuously improve resources, which means it's updated continuously, because when one downloads a certain material or content, he or she can update it or revise it and again upload it or contribute it back. So then there's actually updates on the contributions or the contents in our OER. And lastly, no, we at Silliman value academic freedom. Thus, our OER is used to exercise academic freedom as well. In what way, you may ask? You can control the content, because if you download it, there's then you can actually edit it and then revise it and modify it. And for updated work, again, you can submit your own or update another. That will be explained more by Ma'am Sarah later on. So just to give highlight to the reuse of our soul OER TLR contents. Actually, this was based on what Ma'am Myra has shared to us earlier on the 5 R's. So these are actually we highlight the reusability of content in the following ways, such that content can be reused in its unaltered format, meaning whatever you have downloaded, it's something that you can actually reuse directly in class or in any research that you have. And then there's content can be retained for personal archives or references. So if you are into research, then references, it's not just that you have free access to the material or to the content, but you could also have a copy so that if you need to really go into um, going back to your references and you have a copy of it. And then the third one is it can be modified or altered to suit specific needs, as I have also mentioned in the use. So that means you can customize it according to how you would use it in your course or how you would use it in your activity if you are a student. And then content can be combined with other similar content to create new material. So this is it, no? It could actually, it's not just modifying it or altering it. It's actually something, we could actually make something new out of it if there is a remix or a combination of contents from what we have downloaded or used. And then lastly, content can be shared with anyone else. Okay, so it's better to have it uploaded or contributed to the OER so that it has a wider reach when it comes to people being able to use it. So we should bear that in mind, that all contents in the OER are freely published. Again, no, we have to emphasize this one under a Creative Commons attribution, and there are different ways of reusing them as well, as I've mentioned. And we should also not forget to properly acknowledge. What's important is acknowledging properly the original owner of the content. More of this will be discussed again by Ma'am Sarah later on, and this time, let me navigate you to our TLR page of the OER, and I will also demonstrate to you how to acquire content by downloading content from OER. Okay. Okay, so we are here in our main page platform of our platform, by the way. And in here, for the teaching learning resources, so again, it's we can actually contribute and we could actually also download. So we click on the button contribute and we will be directed to this page. I hope it's viewable by everyone. Okay, so we have courseware, the courseware portion and the resources portion. So in courseware, we could actually download those that we have seen or those courses that we have seen in the open online course, where most of the ones that we can access there, we could actually have our own copies of that one. So you could just click on that one and you will see that you could download a lot. Not by the way, as mentioned by Sir Dave, this is still a work in progress. So we are trying to also upload the links to the actual backup course files of the ones that you see in the Open Online Courses page. Okay, so I will not download any of them because it will take a while, but it usually is the real file that is that you can download in here. And then by the way, what's good about it is for those who will be downloading this one, because we have already incorporated the PLMS application, then you can actually open the course using the PLMS. Okay, let's go back to this page. And this one, the resources portion, is where most of the other types of files can be downloaded in the form of PDF file, documents. We have videos. Videos, well, I will show you later how you would be able to um, acquire or have a hold of a video file, because most of them are actually, or all of them are actually placed in our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's click on resources. Okay, so while we're waiting for the page to load, again, there are still a lot to upload. We are also encouraging everyone to upload or contribute so that there will be more materials or more content for our users to be able to access and to be able to download. Okay, so we're already here in our teaching learning resources page. So we click on ourSOUL portal to go back to the main page, and then we have the topics here. Okay, so we have actually 10 topics, which were based on the Dewey Decimal Classification System. I'm very sure that the librarians know about this thing on cataloging and maybe categorization. So we have here the 10 topics, which are philosophy, psychology, religion, social sciences. By the way, in social sciences, we have other subtopics in the form of economics, education, political science, law, sociology, and anthropology. And then we have more. We have language and communication, pure sciences, applied sciences, the arts, and we have literature, rhetorics, history and geography, and then, of course, information technology. All right. So if you already know, so I will just try to demonstrate on how to use them when it comes to downloading of files. Okay. So if you already know which topic your material belongs to, then you could directly go to that particular topic. Like, for example, I will click on social sciences because this is where a lot of the materials are because of the subtopics it has. All right. So there you go. Okay. So in here, okay, so you will get a list of uh, the things that you could actually download, or you could actually also um, view, no? So in here, at the bottom of the page, okay, so that's one big page for all of these number of content. So if you'd want, for example, we would want to have like we would want to download, or we would want to acquire a course syllabus in science, technology, and society. We just click on it, and then we would see the details of this particular content. So this is actually authored by Miss Joy Reyes, and there's a description of that particular content. Okay, so in this portion, so we have here, no, this is a clickable where we can actually view first, and then we will be able to download if we need to download it. So if we click on this one, okay, so we'll have a view of the material, and then if we'd want to download it, we simply click on the download at the upper right portion, and then it's as easy as that. we will just have to wait and it will give us a download of the PDF. So this is a PDF file. So that's how simple it is when it comes to using it by downloading it. And then we just click on back to go back to our page. Okay, so if we are not aware of our the title, or maybe where it's placed as a topic, we could always make use of the magic search option. So we click on search, and then we can type our keywords here, as well as, or maybe place the name of the author here. So the more the um options that you have when it comes to narrowing down your search, no, so you could actually make use of that. For example, I would want to look into assessments that's actually authored by Dr. Marshall, so I could click on research, and then I will be given the list of items that's about assessment that's authored by Sir Dave, which means there are actually 5 items here. This is not, most of the times we think these are the number of pages, but these are the number of items for this particular search. So for example, we will look into this one, the first one. All right. In here, we have noticed that there is no clickable just below this portion here, which means this is not a direct download that we have to do. So we click on this portion here, this link that will give us or direct us to the video that is actually placed in our YouTube channel, OER YouTube channel. So what we do is we allow, okay, we allow you to be able to have a hold of this one. So we could actually make use of YouTube video downloaders for this one. So we just get on, we just click on the URL there, and then right click and copy, and then we look for a video downloader. So we just place, or we just paste it here, and then we could already start downloading. So it's not downloading for us, but we could actually make use of that one, and then we will be able to download the file. Okay, so that is how easy it is to use when it comes to downloading or acquiring the file. But of course, we are also, in as much as we are encouraging everyone to visit this OER for download, we are also encouraging everyone to use this one, so that in order for us to be able to contribute, and being able to contribute would mean being able to also share a lot of content to everyone for free. So I hope I have made it clear on how we would be able to access, download, use it in ways wherein we could download the files. So let me just give the floor to Ma'am Sarah Angela Ragay, because she will be telling us or giving us a demonstration on the registration, because we need, by the way, if we use it for downloading, there's no need for us to register as a member or part of the OER, but because for contribution, no, we have to have, or we have to be registered, no, in our OER. So that's it for me for my demonstration. Let me give the floor now to Ma'am Sarah. Ma'am Sarah?
Thank you, Ma'am Alfie. So good afternoon, everyone. Hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll share my screen first. Ay, sorry. I'm sorry. There. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So my task is on how to register. Okay, so knowing all what OER is, after Dr. Villanueva has shared to us, and Dr. Dave also has expounded it, and Ma'am Alfie has shared to us. I hope you are all now ready to share, to contribute so that everyone can now access to the content you have. Okay, so first off, you need to register in order for you to be a contributor, for you to be able to submit your content or material. So you simply click on the register button found at the upper right side of your screen. So you will be directed to the register page of the OER website. Then you simply have to fill in your given name or first name, the last name, and then the affiliation, the country. Then you also have to provide your email address. You create your username and password. So before clicking on the register button, you click on this boxes here if you agree to the terms stated in the privacy statement. But before that, you really have to read on the privacy statement, which is clickable. Then if you would want to be notified of new publications and announcements, you also click on this box here. And also, if you would want to be contacted with requests to review submissions to this journal, you may also click on this button here. So once registered, you may now be able to log in. So to log in, click on, type in your username and password. So click on log in. So you will be directed to, oh, by the way, I have made a submission which was not finished. So I will make a new submission here. So this is the page for a new submission. So there are 5 steps before having your material or content be published to the OER platform. So first, there is a section policy which states that section default policy, and there will be an assigned editor for this section, which will be Dr. Myra Villanueva. And if you have comments for the editor, you may do it here. You may type in here. Then the acknowledge, you also have to read the acknowledgement of the copyright statement. So it states here that this is an open educational resource. Contributors must be aware of the 5 R's, which was discussed by Dr. Myra a while ago. And before submission, we encourage the contributor to affix the Creative Commons license set of your choice to your original document. So you have to click, so kindly click this link here to know more about the license. Then you will click on the box here in which you will agree to abide by the terms of the copyright statement, and that also the second box, which you would agree to the terms stated in the privacy statement. So after clicking on this link here, a button here, you can now go and click on save and continue. So on the second step, you are going to upload a file or add a file. So you will have first a video file here. So you can upload actually all types of file if I'm right. So you can upload a text or a document file. You can upload an MP4, an MP3, and even a website also. So we will wait for this to be uploaded. So this link here, this file here is an MP4. So before you submit, before you contribute, make sure that you are willing to have your materials, the content of your materials to be shared, to be reused, to be remixed by others. The good thing about that is you are able to share because they said that it is better to share or it's better to give than to receive, diba? So let us share what we have so that we can also share the knowledge that we have to others. So let's wait for this to be uploaded. think the file is too big because this is an MP4 and it would take for an MP4 to upload, unlike a document file or a PDF also. So let's just have to be patient on this. Few more seconds. So once this file will be uploaded, it will ask you the type of file. It will ask what type of file you have uploaded. So you have to indicate the type of file. So as for this case here, this is a video file. So if this is a text file, so you will click on this article text here. And if it is a teaching learning materials, you will click on here. But if it is not in this selection, you just click on other and then click on the other option, then save. And after that, you click on save and continue. And on the third step, you will enter the metadata of the file you have submitted, you have uploaded. So this is, let's have this as a trial demo type as a title. If there is a subtitle to that material you have, you may indicate it here. And for the prefix, you add it here. Then you need to also type in the description so that it will appear once this material will be published, so that it will be easier for your users, for our users, to determine the content of the file. Then if there are other contributor aside from you, if you have co-author, you may add it here. You just have simply to click on the add contributor and fill in the necessary information. And then in this one, this is mandatory. You really have to put it in here, the type of material you are submitting. So this is a video file. You type it in here, just it's a video. And then if you have additional information or keywords, so that it will be easier for your users to retrieve, you may add it in here also. And then after that, you click on save and continue. Oh, you need to have there's a mandatory. Oh yeah, there's a mandatory. You need to put in a description sa DI. So for the description, you put in a summary or an abstract to your material. So say for example, in this case, so this is for demo purposes. Okay, and then click on save and continue. And on the fourth step, there's a message that states your submission has been uploaded and is ready to be sent. You may go back to review and adjust any of the information you have entered before continuing when you are ready. And when you are ready, click finish submission. So before you click on the finish submission, make sure that you have inputted all the information needed for the file you are going to submit. So you may click here at the start if you would wish to go back to this step here, like you would want the editor to, if you want to give an instruction to the editor, you may do it here by simply clicking on this first step or at the upload submission, and so on and so forth. Then if you are really now confirmed that the information that you have inputted are all good to go, you just click on finish submission. And then there's a box here which states that, are you sure you wish to submit this course to ourSOUL Teaching Learning Resources? So if you are good to go, then click on OK, and if not, cancel. Then in this case, let's click on OK. Then the next step is the fifth step. So this is now where your submission is complete. Then there's a message that states, thank you for your interest in publishing with our soul teaching learning resources. So it would take your publication to be published, or I mean your material to be published at least a week before it will be published to our soul TLR platform. So just make sure that you have read all the copyright detail. The copyright of the platform of the OER, and you would abide with the licenses that it applies. So if you're done with this submission and you would want to add another submission, you can click on the back to submission to add a new submission here. So that is a video file. And now if you have another submission, you can add. So if we will add a PDF, a PowerPoint that you have, say for example, the one that Ma'am Alfie demoed a while ago, in which she has downloaded a file from the platform and she has revised it, then we will try to upload it again to the platform as to where she downloaded it. So we will click on, for the first step, we will click on the option, the boxes here that we agree to abide the terms, and we have stated the privacy statement. Then we will click on the save and continue. So if you make sure that you will acknowledge. So this one here, this is a teaching learning materials which was downloaded a while ago by Ma'am Alfie. So you will click on save and continue. Then, ano title ato Ma'am? I forgot. Soul Dialogue. Okay, Soul Dialogue. And then in the description, you have to indicate, you can indicate it in here that this is a revised material downloaded from Mr. Bradley's file, like that. And then type of file, this is a PowerPoint presentation. Then save and continue. Then finish submission. Then okay. So the same steps you will go through to any files that you would want to submit. And all submission is subject for quality control by our editor, Dr. Myra Villanueva. So that's it for now. And if you have any questions, you may raise it here. Where did I stop sharing? Ma'am Alfie, I'm done.
So thank you very much, Ma'am Sarah. So at this time, we are already ready to answer questions. So this is our question and answer portion. For all your concerns or maybe all your questions out there about OER and about ourSOUL OER TLR. Let me ask the rest of the team to also turn on their webcam so that you could place your questions in the chat box. You could also raise your hand. Click on the raise hand icon if you have questions for us for our OER platform. Anyone?
Maybe Dr. Myra, can you explain how much we have or how many resources we have on our OER so that the audience would know also the content available on our OER?
So as of this time, we already uploaded 283 videos. That and 98 actually 98 course syllabus for you to that is ready to be shared for all of you. And these are the products of the seminars or the trainings that a Soul office led by Dr. Dave. And if you notice during those, if you are with PAYAC and PLMS training, in our virtual classroom, it is stated there that your product will be or part or will be part of the OER that we're going to put up.
Okay, so we have here our two initial questions. First is more of the certificate after this event. For sure, yes, you will get a certificate after this event. You will have to have or to go through answering our evaluation survey in order for you to do that. But of course, if you talk about e-certificates, if you are a contributor or something like that, it's actually there's none, I think, when it comes to you being a contributor. So none for that one. Then we have from Sir Harold Guazon, will we be notified if the OER we submit is to be removed? Anyone from the team?
Yes, sir. Actually, our OER, we have as what Dr. Dave has, or as we start this launching, this project is work in progress. So we have a quality control for a quality control just to make sure that this product is really a teaching learning materials from a faculty or a student that is willing to upload or willing to share the learning materials that they have. And of course, can I just the second question? And you will be actually, if you going to submit, you will be notified. That's why we need to have at least 1 week, because the author will be notified that the learning materials has been uploaded, and it is we're going to publish it, and so on and so forth. And
Okay.
if it is removed, yes,
To add
yes, sir.
that, technically speaking, any content uploaded in an OER, it should not be removed. However, there are instances that it will be removed. For example, it is subjected for example, copyright issues or plagiarism issues that perhaps missed during our quality control. So those are basically some of the reasons why a content from OER will be removed. And yes, if it will be removed, we will not actually just simply say we will remove it. We will get actually some validation from the contributor. Like there are claims that the content are not anymore, relevant and valid, and so on and so forth. So that is the time that we have to communicate with the contributor. The 1 week mentioned by Dr. Myra is basically for us to do some our own way of quality control. Quality control in terms of the basic component of, again, OER content. Any questions basically about the content, specific details of the content itself is actually still goes to the contributor. So it means that if there are concerns and questions about the content, the OER team, we will be the one to facilitate it and address it, facilitate to the contributor of the learning resource. That's basically the whole idea of an open educational resources. That is why it is also our way of educating our academicians, our students, our teachers that whatever content that we will be sharing are really free from plagiarism, free from copyright, safe from copyright, and some other content. Okay, so that's basically the whole idea of an OER. Now, as to the question, to the second question from Mel Joanne, Dr. Myra, please.
Yeah, that's why we encourage, this is to address the question of Mom Dizan. So that's why we encourage our faculty, our teachers, students, and the educational community to attach or to make sure that you had place the Creative Commons licenses, that the license that you want to place in your original original contribution or original materials. When it comes to plagiarism check, um, we believe that our faculty and our the member of educational environment that we have will not be submitting the materials or learning materials that is the product of plagiarism or that is being plagiarized. So for once part of the quality control that we had is we need to communicate with our contributor to make sure that this material is original or remix. That's why we encourage everyone, our contributor, to please put the license that you want in your original materials.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the point actually of Dr. Myra is that there should be the responsibility really is coming from the contributor. That's the whole concept of open educational resources. It is assumed that everyone is exercising exercising right and proper way of the concept of OER, the mix, remix, redistribute, and all those principles and concepts should be embedded within or inside the content. So it is assumed that everyone, although from our end, we will do some quality control. Thank you for that, Ma'am Mel and Sir Harold. Yes. There is also a question. If this one, hi, Ma'am Warlinda. Um, yes, it is open to the public. You can download for free. You can reuse it again. Just go back to the basic, attribute, or let us properly attribute the author or the contributor of the content. And it is totally free. You can download, and if you want to create an account and contribute, it is also free.
okay, so another one here, sir, and I think everyone of us here would really say yes. From Sir Peter Alos, good afternoon. Can we recommend this platform to our teaching faculty in our campus? That's a big yes for everyone from here. Yes, so that we would have, you are welcome to contribute as well as to use the materials from our OER, sir.
Yes, that is our intention. Our intention really is to use this from other institutions, especially if our institution does not have an official open educational resources. Because for example, I'll give you an example. For example, thesis and dissertation from our students. If we don't have a thesis and dissertation repository, we can actually ask our students to upload there. After all, again, the concept of OER, the copyright of that content always belongs to the author or to the writer. So it does not actually transfer to Silliman. What we are doing my team and Siliman is doing is just simply providing a free platform for everyone in the academy to have at least a repository of their content. And that is also one way of preserving and curating the content. Because sayang, there are many very good content that are not being shared among and within us. Yes, Peter. Hi, Peter. It's nice to see you online. Please recommend that even those outputs from students, say for example, teaching empowerment in the senior high school. If you have outputs from your students that worth sharing, you can actually tell your student to upload them on the OER. Okay?
Yes.
Can I add also, Doc?
Yes, please.
I know that when it comes to Creative Commons licenses, it is this is not yet common to us, especially
Yeah.
with my colleagues in the library profession. This is new, or some of us don't have this. We don't apply it yet in our institution. So we have contacts in our web page in the TLR, our Soul TLR platform. You can communicate with us, and we will help you to determine what Creative Commons license would you that is appropriate for your materials before you submit it for sharing. We can do that. You can always contact us.
Okay, thank you very much for that one, Ma'am Myra. Other questions? I think everyone is just really excited to contribute. Can we have here from Miss Cindy in Alpe. Hi, Ma'am Cindy. Can we include your platform also in our library webpage so our learning community can easily access it? Yes, it's a very big yes for us, Miss Cindy.
Hi, Cindy. That's a very big yes. That is our intention. We would be happy if you will include our link in your web pages, in your library, so that others also can,
Access it.
or they can be redirected to the
Yes.
website. After all, it's a portal not just simply for content, but also for learning. You can attend MOOCs, you can attend online courses also there. So it's not just simply the content. So please, that's our intention really, that we will be visible, we can reach many schools, many students, many teachers, especially those schools that does not have an open educational resources. Take note and please be reminded also that OER is promoted by the Commission on Higher Education. That is why this project was approved, because the Commission actually acknowledged the idea of sharing, contribution, and partnership. So this could be a platform, a very good platform for possible partnership. For now, as part of our dissemination protocol, we're not that very strict in terms of utilization. As long as you can contribute, just feel free to contribute. But who knows, in the future, we will be having a formal memorandum of agreement or terms of agreement in terms of utilization, because this also entails expenses. I mean, costs in terms of operation, in terms of our storage, in terms of maintaining the platform and others. But for now, because this is funded by the Commission on Higher Education, take the opportunity that it is free. So it's totally free. You can use it. Like if you have some content in your library and you don't have an online way that it will be visible online, then you can actually upload it. After all, the copyright still belong to the author or still belong to you. You can actually put that into the library, into the description defined by Ma'am Sarah or explained by Ma'am Sarah. You can say this content is curated by Foundation University or X University, and so on and so forth. So we recognize that those content are coming from your school.
Okay. So other questions? All right. So we have one from Sir Neil Salvacion. I would like to ask, do we need a law institutionalizing OER and providing its framework in our country? Thanks very much for your response. Okay, so
Yeah, I would like to ask my advisee, because they are the one really doing a 1 year literature review on OER. Is there a law? Is there a law that institutionalizing OER in the country?
not
Good afternoon, sir,
Yes,
especially to Neil Salvacion. So, Sir Neil Salvacion. So, for this, in this era now, wala, but there's still no
There's no
institution.
law. There's no law. Yeah.
There's no law about OER, but in the higher education institution, the CMO in 2020, there is the noted here in number 10, I guess. So there is the mentioning about open educational resources, but there's no law still.
So I guess, sir, it's high time. It's high time to perhaps not maybe as a start, not necessarily a law, but maybe part of a CMO under the maybe the overarching CMO for library, because I am a technical committee of the computer education. Sometimes I join, BLIS program is under the IT technical panel. So I know some of the technical committee and members also of the BLIS program. Sometimes I join with the librarians when there are program offerings to be evaluated, and I think that's a very good start. Maybe law will come later, not necessarily perhaps a law, or maybe a way of institutionalizing it by putting a specific guidelines and operational procedure perhaps in the CMO for the library. I'm not sure, Dr. Myra, do we have like a very clear specification in the CMO in the library about OER?
Um, Actually, we have this practice in the library, that what we call consortium. So we can start with that. For example, the here in Dumaguete, we have four universities here in Dumaguete. We can have the consortium, and we can also expand as what I expected with this project. So soon that will be expanded through the project, more project of Dr. Dave. He handled yung I'm referring with NCR members of that those recipient of our PLMS and our PAYAC training. We can make those school as member of our consortium. So we can start with our library actually. So we have that framework already in the library. All we need to do is to actually, this is part of the accreditation. We need to collaborate with other librarians, other library when it comes to the resources, especially that our libraries, most of our libraries now is being challenged when it comes to budget. So this is the answer already of that problem.
Are you saying, Dr. Myra, that there is already, or there are provisions already in the CMO in terms of OER, CMO in the library?
Actually, Doc, what is written in the CMO is the use of OER. CHED is trying to encourage us librarians to make use of the OER, yeah, Oh, the OER, yes. Yes, Sir Neil, that is very, that is a very good suggestion to our newly elected senators and the legislators that we can put this up, a framework for this, because in other countries, this is very much institutionalized. And why they are very sustainable ang OER nila is because these are all institutionalized. It means that the members school of that consortium really work hard to input or to subscribe and to really use and contribute for the development and sustainability of the OER repository. It's
Go,
high
Sir
time for
Neil.
us. Yes.
Go, Sir Neil. We're just here. We can provide some content and perhaps a little knowledge about about OER. I remember, I think, how many years ago when I first encountered OER. It was really like not so clear what really OER all about, because OER is always associated with just simply an
Open
open
access
resources. No,
or
just
open
like
access.
what we think of, like what we think like a journal. When a journal is a free, then it is associated with an
OER.
OER. It's not like that. Okay, although an open access can be subsumed or can be a part of an open educational resource. It was actually explained by Dr. Myra. So maybe it is really a high time. It is a high time. In terms of establishing EdTech Commission, blah, 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 there is already a law, sir. I think it is an authority given to UPOU. They are the one that provided with funds to help other schools also, but very focused on e-learning, focused on educational technology in the classroom. But in terms of OER, it's just part. It's not really solely assigned to that law. I forgot the name of that one. It was signed by the Republic Act number. I think it is in your literature. Dai, Lisel, and Angie. I forgot. I think you mentioned this, but there is one, sir, that talks about educational technology. After all, there is also a separate technical committee in terms of online education, transnational, something like that. So there are more hopes and expectations after the project, and we hope that we can really sustain this project, and we hope to reach more schools, especially small schools, no? Especially small schools that that has no capability, or perhaps there is capability but there is no something like this. That the effort is not yet being finalized and implemented when it comes to open educational resources.
I would like to add, Doc. This is really the problem why there is slow adaptation of OER here in the Philippines. It's because of our mindset that baka copy lang yung ng ginawa ko, and then wala na, hindi na ako i-attribute. So it's not like that in the OER. So we really encourage, this is free, but you have to attribute. That's why we are using Creative Commons licenses, because attribution to the original author is very much needed. We really need to, even we remix or we redesign it, we need to really attribute the original author for that this is adapted from, and well, it is adapted, it is redesigned, so you have to give credit to the original author. So it's high time for us, especially I believe that our educators really have this talent, mga ang dali kasi, ang dali pag you went through or you access these materials from educational resources and then i-download mo, it really saves time for the faculty. So you can still think of mag-develop ka and then don't forget to resubmit or redistribute whatever you had redesigned.
Okay, so
I think we have another one from Marianne, Ma'am Marianne Lasquiste. Is the author inside the institution have royalty or additional pay on this? This is the usual question by our faculty.
Yeah, remember the framework of OER is really open access. The major characteristic there is no pay. So that means you will not contribute if the content is under a royalty provision. Okay, so that's from our end also. That is why we have a week to evaluate the content, because if the content is under a royalty provision, then that is not supposed to be here. That is not supposed to be at the OER, because major characteristic of an OER is there's no fee, there is no payment, and it is open access. It is free to contribute, remake, and that. So therefore, Ma'am May Ann, our soul OER is not for you. If that content has payment, or if, say for example, if that book is under a certain royalty provision, you're not supposed to upload that here, because again, this is under Creative Commons. All Creative Commons is not for pay. Tama ba, Dr. Myra?
Yes, Doc. But then it really depends on the institution they are in. For example, here in Silliman, if we will institutionalize it, as Sir Neil is asking us, it really depends. For now, there is no law stated that this should be institutionalized, but it really depends on the institution. For example, if Silliman will institutionalize the production of learning materials and it should be uploaded to the OER platform, then it will give credit yung sa ano natin, Doc, 'di ba? Pwede yan, ma-monetize yan, depende sa institution. But for the general concept of OER, wala talagang bayad dito. Free talaga siya, ma'am. Kasi our purpose here is to produce quality learning materials, especially for those who cannot afford to have it, especially sa mga textbook na mga mahal na siya. Then if you have a big heart to share those materials with these students or with this faculty, then yun, free lang talaga siya. Walang bayad dito.
Okay, so other questions before we move to close our launching? Okay, so I hope everyone is already okay, so may pahabol po. How OER can help the disinformation, misinformation, and underinformation issues? Yeah, this was, I think, Sir Neil is actually a follower of the activities here in ourSOUL. Sir Dave.
We should not forget that the main intention of the OER here, what we are doing here is the platform. Okay, it is the platform it is a platform for sharing, redistributing content. The OER, that is why there is quality control from us, just to make sure that issues related to other matters like disinformation. It's not only that, there are so many issues that will go along in the OER. So how? That's within us. That's actually the team in evaluating, because we will not just simply accept also just to accumulate content. It is also our big responsibility to make sure that the content that you are sharing does not contain content that disinformed or misinformed or malinformed people. So may mga validation din tayo, sir. No, that's our role. But we really assume we are in the academics, we are in the field where we are expected to perform our duty to be the source of correct information. So that's our assumption. But of course, these are assumptions. We have to make sure that we can translate it into rules and guidelines when we approve content. Again, after all, sir, the content still belong. If there are issues and concern of the content, still will go through to the author or contributor.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much to all those who asked. Maybe, Alfie, we can proceed for the interest of
Okay.
time.
So for other questions of yours, you could always email us. Our contact information is there in our page. For now, we will have to so that everyone will be given their certificate. We are asking you to evaluate this event. So let us ask Sir Steve to place. Okay, so it's actually there. You could access that one, and Sir Steve has already posted the link so that you would be able to give your evaluation. Your evaluation is our basis for the certificate that we will be sending you. Okay, so all right. So hopefully, please make sure to access it before we end this event. So please access the link that's already placed in the chat box. All right. So before we end, let us take this photo opportunity so that we will be able to have something to look back to when we write down the history of ourSOUL OER for sure. So please turn on your webcams for our photo opportunity. All right. So can we ask Sir Steve to take a picture for us? Sir Steve?
Right. Thank you, Ma'am Alf. We're waiting for the others to turn on their cameras.
Kindly turn on your cameras now and give your beautiful smiles for the camera.
Okay. There are 4 frames here, so please hold on for a few seconds. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, second frame. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, third frame. 1, 2, 3, smile. Then last frame. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, back to you, Ma'am Al. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so thank you for joining us. So that wraps up our launching of ourSOUL OER platform. So thank you for joining us in the name of the OER team. Thank you very much. By the way, the OER team comprises of Dr. Davey Marshall as our project leader. Our team leader is Dr. Myra Villanueva. Yours truly, and Ma'am Sarah Angela Ragay are the members. And of course, we have our web administrator in the name of Sir Jade Montemayor. So thank you very much.